This is a man's world, but we won't quit. This is a man's world. She who dares wins.
Hello and welcome to this episode of How to Survive a Man's World. Today I'm going to be discussing how to cope with a discriminating boss. Disclaimer here, I'm going to talk about a boss being male because I've only ever had male bosses. You may have a female boss who is also discriminating against you. Right, now I've cleared that up, let's crack on. So why is your boss discriminating against you? Is it gender, race, sexuality? He might be discriminating against you because he just doesn't like you. I don't know, it's weird. People are weird. People have problems with other people for weird reasons. Sometimes the face just doesn't fit. Now, don't just guess what you think the issue is. You need to actually find out. Someone might be able to tell you. They might be able to say, hey, Michelle, your boss doesn't like you because you turn up late every day. Or your boss doesn't like you because he doesn't think that women should be on a construction site. Yeah, I've had that one before. Without knowing exactly why your boss is discriminating against you, you can't really do much about it. So now you know what the issue is. What exactly are they doing? Are they stopping you progressing your career? Are they stopping you getting work? Are they giving you unacceptable comments, gestures, or quite frankly, sometimes just leaving you out of the loop? The list is endless, and to be honest with you, pretty much every single one of those is unacceptable. So what options do you have? Go above that person? Maybe that person is like the top person, you can't go above them. But if they're not, and you have a line of managers, maybe go to the person who actually can deal with the situation. I've said this before, sometimes the best way to approach situations like this is to go to the culprit and say, hey, I feel like you're discriminating against me because X, Y, Z, and have a frank conversation. You may not feel like you can do that, the situation might become too awkward. If this is the case, go to HR, go to management, go and speak to a colleague, do something, but just don't bottle it up and put up with it, because it's something that you just shouldn't put up with. My dad always says, a problem solved is a problem shared? A problem shared is a problem solved. Yeah, that can be the case. So why not go and speak to a colleague, someone in management, explain the situation and see if someone can help you work through it and ultimately stop that person from discriminating against you. Here's an interesting one. See if someone else feels the same. There might be someone you work alongside, for example, another female, and she is also getting discriminated against by this said person. If the two of you together have an issue, then sometimes it's easier to go with that person and explain to someone else what's happening and get a solution. And that person might be really grateful that you've spoken to them because they've been feeling the exact same way for so long. You might be getting discriminated against at work because of gender, which is crazy, but it's something I've encountered in construction. I'm a woman, as far as I know. Yes, I am. I can't change that. I was born a woman. It's something that I just am. And when you are something that you can't change, you don't want to change, and someone else has a problem with that, it makes things incredibly hard to deal with. I worked with a guy once who openly said to me that he didn't have a problem with me personally, but he did feel that women should not work on a construction site. This was really hard to deal with, knowing that he didn't have a problem with my work, but he had a problem with me just even being there. And as this person didn't directly work with me or alongside me, he worked for another company, it was really hard to deal with. And again, I tackled it head on. I went and spoke to him and said, look, that's your opinion, I think it's wrong, but you're not allowed to use that against me. So you have to get on with the work, we have to work together, and we have to see this project through. And in some weird kind of way, I don't think he stopped discriminating against me. I think certain parts of the job and in meetings he'd leave me out, but it made things a little bit easier to deal with. Unfortunately, with any type of discrimination, it is kind of hard to deal with on your own. That person might have a certain set of values, or they might have grown up with an idea of what is right within the workplace, and for example, a female being on a construction site is something really hard for them to deal with. And sometimes the only way to tackle this issue is to go to management and speak to someone about it. Fighting this person head on and having a confrontational discussion sometimes just spirals into a whole heap of crap. I hope you don't have to deal with it in that way that I have. Like I said, a lot of companies these days are set up. No one should be discriminated against in 2019. There are ways of dealing with this. So hopefully this video has discussed some of them. Thanks for watching. Hit that subscribe button. Feel free to ask me any questions in the comments below. And I'll be back next week with the new episode of How to Survive a Man's World.